There's a place down the street where good friends meet. Why don't you come along? See a face that's new, share a point of view, or maybe sing a song. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Climb to the top of the stair.
Hi, Moni. How you doing?
Oh, it's just you.
Just me? What do you mean it's just me? Aren't I good enough?
I'm expecting that Kelly person. It's nothing to do with you.
Well, since you're such a grudge today, I'm certainly glad I don't have anything to do with you.
She's late, that's what it is. And we're supposed to go downtown to look for a new pair of jeans a half an hour ago.
Never make promises. That way you can't break them.
But it was her idea.
There once was a man who was content with what he had, a house, clothing, and enough food to feed his family. He loved peace, and each evening he went through a bedtime routine. First, he locked the doors front and back. Next, he scattered the embers in the fireplace. Finally, when he saw that everything else was done, he climbed the stairs and checked to see that all the family was tucked in beneath the blankets. At last, he himself crawled in between the sheets with a long sigh. Ah, the day was done. Sweet dreams. Yes, sweet dreams. Until... Drat that phone! Who could be calling at this hour of the night? Reluctantly, he swung his legs over the edge of the bed. The floor was cold. Hello? Yeah? Yeah? I did buy some today. Not really. We need it for breakfast tomorrow. And besides, I've been in bed for a few hours already. Why don't you try Cox's 612 store first? I'm sure they'd be good for a few loaves, and it'd be fresh. Bye. He went to the window to stretch. On his way back to bed, he tripped over the cat. A couple of loaves of bread. 2 lousy loaves of bread. He couldn't fall asleep easily. Maybe he should have been a better neighbor. He had just drifted off when he was jolted awake by an unearthly racket. Someone was pounding on the front door downstairs. Wearily, he got out of bed again, stumbled to the window, and stuck his head out into the moonlight. "Who is it?" he said with his best morning breath. It wasn't necessary for him to ask. He knew already that it was his neighbor again, asking for bread. His persistent neighbor. He wasn't in any position to argue, so he thumped down the stairs and pulled 2 loaves out of the icebox and brought them to the door. "Thanks. I knew I could count on you," the neighbor said. "Unexpected overnight company. You know how it is. The store was out." And he moved off into the midnight shadows. The man made his way back up the stairs in the dark. He who persistently asks, receives, he muttered to himself, just before he tripped over the cat again.
Hi, Moni. Come on, Brian, let's go play some ball.
Okay, just wait a minute.
Why don't you shut the door, Dawn?
Because Kelly's coming, that's why.
It's about time.
Hi, Moni. Hi, guys.
You said you'd meet me here 45 minutes ago.
Huh? Oh, yeah, well, something came up, Moni.
What?
Yeah, see, like, Connie had this get-one-in-free bowling ticket, so I decided to go with her instead.
Yeah, we better be going, Kelly, or else we'll be late.
Right. Go down, I'll be with you in a sec.
Hope you both enjoyed bowling.
Come on, Moni. I'm sorry about this. It's just I promised Connie when she told me about this free bowling ticket she had. And I know how you just hate bowling.
Well, what about me?
We can still look for those jeans some other day. Bye.
Tough luck, Mooney.
I'll say, Kelly probably doesn't even realize what she did to me.
So why don't you tell her?
Why should I tell her? That's her problem if she can't figure it out for herself.
Maybe she doesn't know how much you're counting on her. If you don't say anything, she'll never know.
Well, then she'll never find out.
Hey, have you had a hate inside of yourself that you just had to let out? And did you look for every little excuse to let it come out loud? And once you start, it's hard to stop. When someone gets in your way, you're putting them down, driving them down, driving them into the ground. Hey, do you hate the hate inside of yourself? Can't keep from letting it out. Deep down you feel the hater starting to win and make it come out loud. And once you start, it's hard to stop. The hater has it his way. He's putting you down, driving you down, driving you into the ground. And once you start, it's hard to stop. The hater has it his way. He's putting you down, driving you down, driving you into the ground. Hey, have you heard about the love of God? So glad I finally found a love to drive out every hate in my heart. It turned me right around. And once you start, the hate will stop. If someone gets in your way, you're helping them up, lifting them up, showing them the love of God. And once you start, the hate will stop. If someone gets in your way, you're helping them up, lifting them up, showing them the love of God.
Are you gonna stay here all day, Mooney?
I'm gonna stay here forever, so what do you care?
Let's get out of here.
Whoa, where's everybody going?
Moni's going to bite pretty soon.
What's wrong, Moni? Your boyfriend leave you? I'm listening.
You can listen for that Kelly person coming back and tell her not to miss me too much.
Why? Where are you going?
Away from her.
Nobody tells me anything.
Talking seems like such an easy thing to do. Just open your mouth and let it out. But just making a noise doesn't mean that you are communicating or that the other person is listening to you. Hearing is not the same as listening. Communication involves a sender who sends a message to a receiver who receives the message and really understands what has been said. But often we only want to express ourselves and we really have no interest in trying to convey a message. We just want to get the attention of others. For example, a child may have a very loud temper tantrum, and even though the parent tries very hard to find out what's wrong, the child makes no attempt to tell a parent what's troubling him. Communicating takes skill and needs to be learned in order to be effective. There are 4 basic elements in the communication process. First, you need a source. This is the person who decides to communicate something to someone else. Second, you need a message to send, which not only involves saying something, but the way it is said as well. Thirdly, you need a channel through which to send this message. It could be through any one of the 5 senses, or through a medium such as the telephone, or person to person via sound waves in the air. Fourth, you need a receiver to be the listener or viewer. When you use these basic components of communicating, feedback is possible. Feedback is very important. If the receiver does not understand the message being sent, then he can indicate his fogginess and get the source to explain the message in greater detail. However, many times people do not make use of this feedback opportunity, and therefore they hear only a few words of the message and come to wrong conclusions. People often hear what they want to hear. There is another aspect to communicating called encoding and decoding. Encoding means to put ideas into a code and to transmit them. Decoding means to discover what the source is saying. To use such a code, both the source and receiver must know about it and how to interpret it. All languages are codes. It certainly helps to understand a message if you know the language. But sometimes, even if you are speaking the same language, the meaning may come across in a different way than the source intended. That depends on the receiver's preconceived ideas about the subject. And many times, people go away with completely opposite thoughts about what was actually said. The purpose of communicating can be varied according to the many people. Some people talk to confuse their listeners. Sometimes they want to make them angry, or happy, or to entertain them. But no matter what you want to achieve, you must make sure that the receiver will be able to understand the message you are sending. God, our Creator, made these principles of communication. He wants us to use them wisely. He tries to communicate with us in different ways too. And we can give Him our feedback. It's called praying.
Hi, Ron.
Hi.
Moni around?
Nope, not now.
I'd hoped she was. Well, see you.
Just a second. She left a message for you.
Oh?
She said not to wait around for her because she wasn't hanging around you anymore. Whatever that means.
That Moni, she takes everything so personally.
Why? What did you do to her?
Well, nothing really. There's no reason for her to get so upset.
She was really upset.
Well, I guess that's her problem. And you can tell her she can forget doing anything together in the future if she's gonna act like that.
Hi, Moni.
Hi, Ron.
Moni, we were just talking about your little problem here. why don't you come and sit down? You guys, communicating isn't just as simple as talking with each other. I found some principles from the Bible really very practical and helpful. Remember the time Jesus was talking to his disciples in the Sermon on the Mount? He said to them, when you say yes, let your yes really mean yes. And when you say no, let your no really mean no. I think, for one, that means when you make a promise, you keep it. When my grandfather would tell a bank manager years ago that he would pay a bill, the bank manager took that as same as a legal document with a signature on it. His word was something solid. And when Jesus says, let your yes be yes and your no, no, he also throws out all lying, even white lies. They have no place at all. In another place in Scripture, in Ephesians, the Apostle Paul says, whenever we speak with each other, let's speak the truth lovingly. Now, there's a really important word there. It says, speak the truth. For example, Moni, if a friend of yours comes up to you and says, what do you think of my dress? And the dress, obviously, to you at least, isn't too pretty. It's not exactly the truth to say to her, your dress is ugly, because 9 other people might like it. So you have to say, if you want to say anything at all, I think your dress isn't that too good. Now, another thing that comes out of there is when we talk with each other lovingly, it means that we're willing to listen to each other. You know how it is when you're talking to somebody and they keep on butting in. But, and you kind of say, why don't you let me finish talking? Can't you listen? Well, that's exactly what it means to speak lovingly with each other, to listen to the other person, to let them say something. And I think a really important part of speaking the truth in love is to talk long enough so that you really have understood what the other person means. Now, these principles sound simple, but doing them is really difficult. And we have to rely on God's strength to do it. But there's a neat thing that I've discovered in prayer. The thing is that God himself treats us this way in his communication to us. For one, his word is always true. You can depend on God sticking to his promise. Secondly, when God listens to us, he lets us talk long enough so we can kind of speak ourselves out right to the bottom. And I think finally that God also, when we talk together, talks long enough so that he makes sure that we really understand what he means. I hope you guys can apply this.
Everything what happened to me, I take it as of God's hand. Even the accident we had. 1959, Christmas time, we had a very bad car accident on the icy road. A car smashed into us, head-on collision. We are both unconscious, that's what they told us. And my face was very badly damaged. My wife was crippled up. She was put near a year in the hospital before they patched her up. But good Lord, he saved us. Nobody in the hospital thought that any one of us would see the green light in the morning. But we lived. People came to see us. People we never knew, never heard of them. And they came to us. Ladies' aides came from different churches. They heard about our accident. And they had special prayer meetings for us. And that gave us the strength to just depend and look up. And the good Lord helped us. I got up. My broken face was healed. Wasn't as normal as before, but I can still talk and eat without teeth. Prayer means so much to me because I know God answers prayers, and I've had so many experiences. Not so long ago, it was before Christmas. I was sitting here in my chair in the evening around 7 o'clock, and I was thinking about different things about here. And all of a sudden, someone spoke to me go to the phone and phone Brandon. We had friends there. I got up and went to the phone. The lady recognized me right away. Oh, I'm so glad that you phoned me. I've been so depressed, and I had lost hope that I would be accepted, and I can't explain. I was just so depressed, but now that you phoned me, I'm so happy. A week later, she died suddenly. Well, I was glad I could have been that, and that was God leading. Yes, God answers prayers, and I've experienced that so often, just about every day. And I often wonder how people can live without God, without praying.
Sorry, Kelly. I guess I was thinking all sorts of unnecessary things about you all this time.
It was me. It was awfully inconsiderate of me to go ahead and change my plans without saying anything about it. How about if we go looking for those jeans tomorrow? Let's make it 1 o'clock.
Let me see. I think I may have this free mini golfing ticket. Come on, let's go.
Sitting alone, no one to phone. Inside there's pain that you're feeling. Walking outside, you try to avoid someone like you who needs healing. Isn't there a way to be friends? Isn't there a way to share our secrets? Isn't there a way to know we belong when we're together, together? We make demands or misunderstand. Soon we can't talk to each other. So listen with love, speaking with care. Don't hide from God or each other. Isn't there a way to be friends? Isn't there a way to share our secrets? Isn't there a way to know we belong when we're together, together? There will be times to stand by yourself, times when you've got a good reason, something to say, a yearning to pray. For everything there's a season. Isn't it time to be friends? Isn't it time to share our secrets? Isn't it time to know we belong when we're together, together, together?
We'd like to hear from you. When you write, we'll send you a magazine that has some of our songs and stories from the Third Story programs. Send your letter to The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We'll be waiting to hear from you.